What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. So, if you watched my video yesterday, you seen news that Russia and China are teaming up militarily. Hopefully, you watched that video. If not, I'll link you to the video here at the end of this video. What we call here the three-headed dragon: Russia, China, and North Korea. Now, take a look at this. Chinese President Xi Jinping urges North Korean President Kim Jong un to boost communications between China and North Korea. Details of last week's call were released hours before the G7 basically condemned China. And the Chinese president basically saying to North Korea, they need to boost communications and somewhat team up. Yeah. The Chinese president told Kim Jong un that he hoped to strengthen their strategic communications between the two sides and promote friendly cooperation. Basically, the enemy of your enemy, the United States, makes us friends. Yeah, and you gotta kind of wonder here why is China teaming up with all the countries that are against the United States? What is going on here? What are the plans here? In a recent message to Kim Jong un, President Xi from China stressed the quote, traditional friendship between China and North Korea had weathered the trials of the changed international situation for a long time, constantly maintained the trend of its development, and has gotten stronger with the passage of time. Quote, the international and regional situations are now changing seriously and in a complicated way, according to the Korean Central News Agency. Saying, quote, I am willing to strengthen strategic communication with Comrade General Secretary Kim, jointly lead the direction of development of China DPRK relations and promote friendly cooperation between the two sides to a higher level. Yeah, you can let me know your thoughts here on that. And what do you think they're planning? This comes as North Korea literally just threatened nuclear weapons on the United States. Yeah. Also, I got a really interesting Supreme Court decision here. I'm going to tell you about here in just a few moments. I thought it was a very interesting case or decision. Maybe I'll leave it there at that. I'll get to that here in a moment. This comes as Russia unveils a secret weapon to target SpaceX's Starlink in Ukraine because of these leaked documents here. This is particularly concerning because SpaceX owns nearly half of all active satellites in the sky, according to data from the nonprofit satellite tracker, CELESTRAC. A recent FCC authorization approved the launch of 7,500 more satellites, and the company plans to launch 30,000 more. So, nearly half of all satellites in the sky are from SpaceX, and Russia is planning on targeting them, aka space warfare. And some of these are government owned by the United States. They lease some of this property from SpaceX, and Russia is targeting them. And we know here that Russia has hacked sensitive government and very important website and databases multiple times. You can see here pro-Russian hackers claim responsibility for knocking U.S. airport websites offline. Another one here, Russian-speaking hackers claim responsibility for knocking U.S. state websites offline. Here is yet another one, leaked U.S. assessment includes warning about Russian hackers accessing sensitive infrastructure. A Russian speaking hacker group called Zarya broke into the computer network of an unnamed Canadian gas distribution facility in February, according to leaked documents. This is just a sampling, just a small sampling of hacks that have already happened from Russian hackers. These are ones that have already happened, let alone ones that haven't happened yet. Now they're targeting ones of space satellites as well. You guys can let me know your thoughts here in the comments. One thing's for sure is that the United States needs to be beefing up its security in more ways than one. Pretty much anything that needs to be thought about needs to be beefed up. And they need to be checking pretty much every single security protocol there is on physical security, like the homeland, missile defense, militarily, and also cybersecurity up in the sky and down on the ground, computer systems, infrastructure systems, the electric grid, everything, everything. And then I just seen this very interesting Supreme Court decision, or maybe lack thereof, but I wanted to show you this to you. I thought this was pretty interesting. Let me know your thoughts on this. Take a look at this. Okay, a U.S. Supreme Court turns away a lawsuit by a Texas inmate who was held in solitary confinement for 27 years. And really, this is a bigger issue because of the fact, you'll see here how many people this has happened to. The U.S. Supreme Court on Monday declined to hear an appeal from a Texas inmate convicted of robbery who argued that 27 years he was forced by prison officials to spend in solitary confinement violated the constitutional bar against, quote, cruel and unusual punishment. If that's not cruel and unusual punishment, 27 years in solitary confinement, I don't know what is. What would be considered cruel and unusual punishment? Now, don't get me wrong, you guys in prison, I get it. But how is 27 years in solitary confinement not cruel and unusual punishment? The justices turned away Dennis Hope's appeal to a lower court ruling that he had failed to show that his prolonged solitary confinement violated the U.S. Constitution's Eighth Amendment prohibition on excessive punishment. This is in the Constitution, guys. His attorney expressed disappointment with the court's decision, noting that hundreds of inmates in Texas alone have spent 10 or more years in solitary confinement. Wow. This was absolutely striking to me. Quote, the idea of putting prisoners in solitary confinement for decades on end would have been flabbergasting to the founders. And we believe that the Supreme Court must someday take up a single case to make that clear, said a lawyer with the civil rights law firm, referring to the 18th century founders of the United States. Now, don't get me wrong. I get that this guy's in prison. I get that people go to prison. But think about this, that hundreds of people in Texas alone, just one single state, have been in solitary confinement for more than a decade. At what point do we consider cruel and unusual punishment? What is the bar for that? And then the Supreme Court won't even consider the case. I'm just absolutely astounded that they're not even going to look at the case. Why? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments, because I'm without words. Without words. Why would they not even consider the case? Where's the bar? Where's the limit here? How can they not set a precedence here? It's astounding to me. Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country, good or bad. Either way, sometimes it feels like human rights is, I don't know. Are we becoming Russia? Are we becoming, are human rights not a thing in the United States at some point? So let me know your thoughts. I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country on a daily basis. If you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe down below. Click the bell icon so you don't miss out on new videos here that come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Here's some videos you should watch next. Here is a massive bill the Republicans are about to pass, which is pretty interesting. And here is a video about U.S. boots on the ground in Taiwan. That's right. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.